I can't help but just nod my head along with that whole. Whoever made that video needs to get a pay raise.
I was saying that was on the top of my Spotify Wrapped list, and as I was thinking about it, Zwift should do, or not Zwift, but Strava needs to do some sort of Wrapped functionality.
Like this, your year in review of your workouts.
I think they have a year in review, but it should, here's the same road you run 5 days a week because you are unoriginal and not interesting.
Well, how many different roads have you ran?
I run almost the same roads.
Yeah, it's gonna be. You already know the answer. You don't need a Wrapped.
I know, but I want to be made fun of by the software that I use for running the same.
Do you look at Strava a lot?
No, and actually I reinstalled it recently, and now it sends me so many notifications in the actual application. Like I disabled the mobile notifications, but the app has so many that says, "Welcome back to your run" or whatever. And now it's just a bunch of crap notifications that mean nothing to me, so I just don't use it at all anymore.
I hardly use it. You know how much I love Training Peaks, so that's what I use predominantly. But Strava, like I use it to track my miles on my shoes, I think, and maybe my bicycle. That's about it.
The one use I had for it was leading up to the 100K. Every long run, I was publishing how it went and how I feel afterwards, because going in very stupidly into this distance, not knowing what it's like to run 20 miles or 24 miles on trails and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun to be like, I love running. This is so great. This is still kind of fun. This hurts. I hate this. This is awful.
You've already been posting that, or that's what your plan is?
That's what I have been doing. So every long run I throw up on Strava.
Where I don't see you. Are we no longer friends?
I did block you. So you couldn't see I didn't want you seeing my stats and realize that I'm coming for you,
Yeah, well, that's why I stopped going public with my I'm logging in here, and then we're gonna see what you're talking about. Have to give it all. What do you mean there's a problem with logging in? This is gonna be. But what's going on this weekend while I'm fumbling around with this? You said you're preparing for a race or something?
Speaking of the trail training, Wildwood Trail Marathon tomorrow morning.
Holy crap. Tomorrow? It's a Saturday race?
I know. I thought it was on a Sunday for like the last few weeks. And then Christina said, wasn't it on the 2nd? I was like, oh yeah, that is not a Sunday. So yep.
All right.
It's gonna be fun. It's kind of a warm up for the 100K. So I think it's a good introduction.
Okay. Now, see, there's just all this stuff. Like I don't see you anywhere. Where are you?
It's called a news feed. So I post so infrequently, you'd probably have to like actually look at my profile.
Well, that's annoying. I mean, I'd rather see your stuff than all these other people's things. I mean, I stopped looking at it because I'm like, what do I care?
You got to unfollow people. You got to mute people. Dude, I do on Facebook. I'm down to like 4 people who aren't muted on my newsfeed on basically.
How do you mute someone?
On Strava, I have no idea.
I mean, I don't want to like. I kind of like seeing this, but I also want to see you. Like, you should be ranked. What's the algorithm for ranking people?
There is a way to mark somebody as like give you a notification when they post, and I think I do that for like you, Brandon, and a couple other folks.
But you do it for me because I don't post.
Yeah, now you don't post. It doesn't actually do anything. So
yeah. All right. Well, how do I find my friends? This is what I don't know what I'm like. I never use Strava, and then now here we are messing around
top
with
left.
it. Ugh. How do you spell your name? There you are. Your conjoined twin.
Are we talking about this? Because I have Christina in my photos for most of my profile pictures, and having the name Kerry.
Yeah.
This is
very confusing.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm writing our introductions to the episode, the AI thinks you're a woman.
Yeah, when we were basically anytime Christina calls doing like couples things, like scheduling, a dinner or something like that. And when we were scheduling our wedding, they were trying to tiptoe around asking whether or not Kerry was a guy or a girl. That's always fun.
I like that a lot. I don't know why. I only see 2 posts. You're a liar.
Okay, go to overview.
Oh, I'm never coming back to.
The web experience is not great. So scroll up a little bit more. See the little drop down of the dates? You have to change the date range, and then you can see the posts from those ranges.
This is
Oh,
obnoxious.
that goes back years. Okay. Never mind. You click the blue bars. The blue bars are what navigates you week to week. So
Well, now I'm not even in the right year anymore. But look, I remember
Hey,
this.
Look at that.
Good pace too.
I assume it's not that anymore, but
Like you're faster or slower?
I don't know. My endurance pace has come up a bit, but I haven't worked on any top end for months.
Okay, so. There you go. I'm finding them now. This is stupid. Can we tell? Geez Louise, 22 miles, huh?
Yeah, that was so I needed to do, I think, 18 miles on the trails, but it had poured rain the night before, so every trail was disgusting. So to make up for it, I took an approximate trail pace and applied that to the timing range and just ran for that time. And
wow,
basically the same route I always run, just further.
It looks like I was wondering if I zoomed in, it'd show me how many laps you made. How many laps was this?
3, I think. I forget.
All right. Well, we hate Strava. I'll have to find a way to get your posts to come to the front since you're so infrequent, apparently, with your. But all right. So you got your trail race marathon tomorrow. People can't decide if you or your wife's named Kerry.
Covering some big major ground here.
Yeah. What else on our schedule agenda today, which we're already a third of the way through the show, and I'm getting to. We're supposed to be talking about my race in Arizona, and
let's skip that. Let's keep talking about me
in your marathon tomorrow, and then the Zwift and Wahoo fiasco lawsuit. But we already. So you're using tomorrow as a preparation for your shippy. And what's the shippy again?
That is 100K, which, by the way, you might need to register for if you're as the pacer.
I keep asking you, what do you need to do? And you keep saying
they said
nothing.
There's not registration. They said there might be registration now. They're discussing it internally.
Okay. Well, I mean, let me know.
I assume for legal reasons, pacers would also have to register, but
it would make sense.
So they'll come back around and let me know. But
if I'm pacing you that last part, I'm going to be streaming it.
Sounds great.
I'm going to get my phone out and then be like, hey, look at.
You're going to need a lot of battery as I hobble through those 20 miles.
No, we're going to need like makeup and lights, I think, to keep you from looking dead.
Yeah.
Is what I'm anticipating.
Yep. That's probably true.
You said 100K.
100K.
And I'm doing the last what?
So we're going to be, just so you know, you're going to be in the last place in this results set here.
Okay.
On Saturday, I'm running 40 miles. So the first 2/3 of the race. So I'm starting at 8. I'll probably end around like 6 p.m. ish or whatever for a couple reasons. One, since I had vertigo, I can't really do darkness that well. Like we went to Botanical Gardens and I'm walking around kind of stumbling, and I'm thinking not a great idea to try to run in the darkness. Yeah. I'm struggling to walk. And beyond that, 100K is quite a long distance. I haven't been training long distance running that long. So
that's funny. How perverse is your idea of long distance now? You just ran 22 miles a few days ago.
Like my short days are 90-minute runs now. During 70.3s, that's like the long day. So now it's definitely warped, which is pretty common for me when I do this kind of stuff where I'm like, oh, it's only a 3-hour bike ride. It's fine. It's not 4.5, And
so when did you go to the Botanical Gardens? When was that?
Last weekend or so.
No invite? I live like a block away.
It was actually we talked about being a block away from your house.
Oh, you didn't even message me.
I'm not sure you wanted to go out on a romantic date with my wife and I. And didn't seem up your alley.
I mean, I'd bring my wife.
Okay.
I don't have to be the third wheel. I mean, good grief. Is that all I am to you?
Next time I'll extend the invite to both of you. Maybe
we could have done something before or after.
She's more fun than you. So
people do like her a lot more than me. But here's the reason why, is because she's always like insulting me and making fun of me and saying the stuff that you want to say but don't have enough guts to because you're afraid you hurt my feelings. And she gets a pass because she married me and puts up with me.
I like that you think I'm going to stop at the risk of hurting your feelings. No, I'm going to keep going.
All right. So Saturday, 40 miles. You don't want to be in the dark. Then what's happening on Sunday?
Gonna hang out in a tent that evening. In the building. It's like a VFW looking kind of place, and they actually let you tent camp inside of there. So
okay.
After
do you really need a tent? What's the point of a tent? Can you just put a cot down? Like
you could, but I mean, some level of privacy. So
you sleeping naked? And if so, what do you care?
I don't know. I saw tents there last time, so I just immediately assumed I will also use a tent.
You've done this before?
I did Shippy once. I did the 20 miler. So in the 100K is just 3 loops of the 20 miler. And the 20 miler is 5 loops. So break that down.
Okay, I'm not going to try.
Yeah. So to do 20 miles, you do 5 separate loops, and those 5 separate loops accumulate into 20 miles. To do 100K, you do 3 loops of the 5 loops.
That makes sense. All right. Yeah. Well said.
Yes,
do I have to sleep in a cot tent at this VFW?
We'll start running whenever you show up Sunday morning. We'll take off. So
okay. What time do you want me to show up?
The 20 milers start at I think 8 a.m. So we can start either before them or after. Whenever you're feeling. 7 a.m., 8 a.m.
Well, I mean, 8 a.m. is already early for me. So you tell me.
Early for you?
Oh, I hate. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I'm up and at it at 7 or so, but if I don't exercise, or like I used to have to during the pandemic swim at like 5 a.m. or whatever, and yeah. I've stopped doing that. But all right, yeah. So Sunday, crap. Did I put it on my calendar? Did you send it? You sent it to me.
I lost access to your calendar when you changed your password. So
I know. Well, that's because you told me that horror story of cyber stalking and how I changed everything.
Oh. We're still dealing with that problem, so we'll keep that one off.
Yeah, let's not go into details then. The 14th of January, I have it blocked, but I have it starting at 9 a.m. I'll move it.
So I don't know if I'll make cutoff of that. We'll see.
No. Well, if you're worried about cutoff, then we better start at 6.
I imagine I won't be sleeping well, so I'll be up and ready whenever you're there.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of those things you just need to get started and get it over with.
Yeah.
And putting it on like an hour, 2 hour, you're not going to feel you're not magically going to be able to do 20 miles better than you would have 30 minutes before. Yeah,
it's going to be a slog, but it'll be fun. I'm excited.
No, it won't be, but I'm glad you're doing it.
It'll be type 2 fun, type 1 fun?
Yeah, I said, oh, you read I just was like, we got to talk about what we mean by fun here, because there are different kinds of fun to different kinds of people.
Yeah.
For different kinds of activities. So what are these types of fun? You said type 2. What does that mean?
I don't know the numbers.
Or we both go into our computers.
Yeah, gotta Google it. Type 2 fun, not during fun, or not fun during, but fun later. It feels good. Well, honestly, a lot of times for me, slow running is fun in the moment, especially on the trails.
Okay.
So for me, it's a good mix of type 1 fun. But when my legs are destroyed, it very quickly goes to type 2 fun.
Here it is. This is from rei.com, by the way. That's unique. Enjoyable while it's happening. Miserable while it's happening, but fun in retrospect. Okay. Doing an ultra marathon.
Working out till you puke.
Yep. Okay. Type 3 is not fun.
Yeah, I don't know why they categorize that as fun if it's the definition is not fun. But
it doesn't have to be fun to be fun. All right, so we're talking about, and then I clicked on a few other things here. We got psychology of having fun. I'm not going to read all this. That's too much. And then 3.5 types of fun. 1.5 fun. Sucks at sometimes, but is fun later on. Okay. Type 2 just sucks the whole time.
So this is like a type 1.5 fun for me, I guess.
Okay.
I I feel like a road marathon would be very much type 2 fun to me. Like I just can't get interested in that yet. I don't know. We'll see.
It's really tough for me to give you any attention right now because I am struggling with this type 3 fun concept. I like this idea of Shackleton inventing it is pretty cool, but then it just says it's never fun while you're doing it. You feel like your life is threatened. Certain doom is at hand. And you swear you'll never do it again. So in what way is that fun? I don't get it. There's not even like in retrospect. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I don't. I've never heard of that one before, and that one makes no sense to me.
Well, all you do is confuse us. Apparently, you're using math. You're referencing psychology.
We have to call some phonologists and get a breakdown of what this.
And now you're making up words. This is too much. All right, very cool. So on the 14th. Everybody can expect to watch us on the trails. Do I need special shoes or anything?
If you have trail shoes, they'd be ideal. Which
are we expecting snow? I mean, what's the
it's just so if you're single track ish, and then like it's not super technical, so you would get away with road shoes, I think.
Okay.
But trail shoes would make sure you don't rip up your nice running shoes on rocks.
Oh, that's actually a good point. I hate trails, and I don't have trail shoes, but I do have nice shoes that I don't even want to walk in. That's how nice they are. I'm like, I don't want to walk a quarter mile because that's a quarter mile in these shoes. I want to be able to be on the run. I don't want to wear them out anymore because I can tell a difference now. Like I mentioned earlier, like it's Strava tells me when my shoes are done. I can tell now, like, I go to Strava to corroborate that the reason my knees are hurting or my feet are hurting is because my shoes have hit 300 miles.
300? Okay. I was going to ask what yours is. I remember the first time I learned that miles matter. I think I was at like 600 or 700
Holy crap.
miles. I'm like, why does everything hurt all the time now? And then that was why.
I managed to break 500 twice. One is on a pair, like, I can't remember the name of the shoe. I never bought it again. And the second one I broke 500 was on how do you say this? My wife making fun of me. I said this word as a Worcestershire sister. Saucony. Is it Saucony? Saucony?
Oh, dude, I've heard so many. I have no idea. Saucony, Saucony.
Yeah.
I've heard so many different
pronunciations. The running niche never corrected me when I went in there and dropped $500 worth of shoes.
I don't think they know. I don't think anybody knows.
All right. So I used at that time as the Endorphin Speed 2 or whatever, and that got over 500, and then the other one got to like 430, and then they went to Speed 3, and those have barely broken 300. And I don't know, like my data skewed because of that switch in manufacturing, but am I running harder, or are those shoes just made differently that they deteriorate quicker?
I guess we need to get a running expert on this call at some point.
We need a lot of guests on this call. You're supposed to be our outreach
I'm the community
scheduler.
Outreach specialist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're like, because you have access as Zipper. You're like, I got all these coaches. I got all these other athletes that want to join us. And the one time I tried to get a guest on here, he flaked twice. So it's your responsibility now.
Sounds good. I will make some calls. I'll try to use my highly sought after reputation.
Yeah, you're networking. Speaking of, you know anybody, anyone who's recently graduated looking for a sales position?
Actually, we should have a conversation after this call because I don't have the details off the top of my head, and I'll fumble through them if I try to explain it now. But I do have an answer for you. All
right, great. All right, what's going on with Zwift and Wahoo? You were trying to tell me that Zwift lost their lawsuit.
Before that, how'd your race go?
I've been talking too much already. No one wants to hear it. I don't know. The race was the race. I don't know how to describe it. I'm not happy with the final product. I think my coach was happy. I think my coach during the debriefing call completely was caught off guard when I was so unhappy. I think he expected me to be happy. I took like 30 minutes off my PR.
I was gonna say.
But it was it's the easiest course on the circuit. Like there's no excuse not to get a massive PR at that race. So it's but like, I mean, I want to put together a better race. I did not put together a better race. It was probably, though, the most complete race I've ever put together. It was a tough mental game. I came out of the water. Here, let's see. I think I'm trying to decide if I'm going to buy the pics or not. But here I am coming out of the water. You can't. It's kind of the stupid watermarks in the way. You can watch me walking. Why do they take so many pictures? Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna because this picture is so much better than this picture. I'm gonna buy it. Like, you need one picture coming out of the water, and I'm allowed to have an opinion because I do a lot of used to photography, and now anyone with you do photo stuff too, right?
Christina does.
Christina. All right. Well, I don't want to insult her by saying too much, but anyways, coming out of the water. Here's the thing. I thought for sure I was going to get close to an hour on the swim. I've been putting down good times. I've been improving. During the swim, I remember thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I am flying. I'm doing great. I'm not really getting past that much. A few people are passing me, but that happens. I'm not used to it. I'm passing other people. But then, my legs were just my legs have never hurt on a swim before. My legs were hurting on the swim. And then I was like, that's probably not good. So this is about halfway through. And then, because it's just one big loopty. And then about on the loopty, also the stupid sun was like, you couldn't see anything.
The worst.
I mean, it was scary because I was like, man, I'm going to get like extra. You go out of you don't go straight, and then you add more time because you don't go in a straight line. And turns out though, I only added like 50 meters of extra swimming, so over 3,900.
Yeah,
I'm not too disappointed with that. But when I was coming around, like I threw up in the swim. It wasn't like a massive like I'm hungover, I drank too much spew, but it was like whatever it was had for breakfast was coming back out and came out. And I was like, all right, so this is gonna be a tough day. But like my watch usually goes off every 10 minutes or every 20 minutes or something. I was counting that, and I missed one or two. So when I got up, it was an hour 15. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna break 60. And I didn't, and that's like my time. Like every swim is 1:15, 1:16. Like it doesn't.
So I'll tell you the way I look at this now is I had the same problem for all of my swimming races. Like my pool speed is so much better and my race speed has stayed the same. But I have noticed a significant difference in how I feel coming out of the water. So I count that as a major win. Like I come out with a lot more energy now. I'm not faster, but it does. I do feel better on the bike. And then like lately, not so the runs have been garbage, but I just feel better the rest of the race. So I take it for that.
Well, I will admit from the other races, when I first got out of the water, I was just like, I'm going to be lucky to walk to where my bike is. So, I mean, I guess maybe I do feel stronger in that way, but especially because this was, I had a wetsuit, and in Nice was my second fastest swim ever, and it did not have a wetsuit. And so what was the I don't know. Anyways, that sucked. And in my head, I wanted to break 10 hours. It was my goal. I wanted to hit like 9:30. And I was like, well, to do that, I got to, 60 minutes on the swim, 4:30 on the bike, 3:30 on the marathon, and you got some change for transition. If things are really bad and I do a 1:15, then I got on the swim. Like I had all these things prepared. We ran through this at the last session chat. And so it was kind of like a mental game. Like, oh man, I'm already behind where I wanted to be. And on the bike, it's just what's the thing that shifts? And I forgot whatever that's called. Your derailleur was like rubbing unless I held because it's a tension. I had to hold that with like my finger at like tight. Otherwise it would rub, and then I could tell it was costing me a mile an hour or so. And then it was windy. You know how we all hate wind. But I was like, I gotta keep my heart rate and I'll keep my power. So definite need for using power during a long race. I know I'll use my heart rate, but I think I probably would have pushed harder if I didn't have a power meter, and then it would have eaten me in the end. But I came through at the halfway point, and I was like, mentally, I realized I was really thinking of this as a half, not as a full. And you don't really want to be thinking that at the halfway point of the ride.
Yeah.
My arm cramped up, my left arm in the arrow position was like cramping, and I didn't know how to like fix. There's like no way to really move your arm if it's unhappy in that position. And I don't know, finished the bike though a little over 5 hours, and then went to the marathon. And again, the goal was start out slow and keep that pace. And I was faster than the pace I wanted, but not by a lot. And then it was windy, you hit the wall, and I just was like super slow again. And so I finished the marathon again, right at the same pace as all my races. So my marathon has not changed. My swim has not changed. My speed came out for the bike. And I had Worlds in September, and then to have a race at the middle of there's like 6 to 8 weeks of recovery time. And that's probably, I don't think my body was probably ready to do another full on such a relatively quick turnaround. So that's where it is at the end of the day.
Took 30 minutes off PR. That is a solid day out. And if you didn't change the marathon time, it means you had more power during the run because you put down an extra 30 minutes on the bike. If you had gone as fast as you did the previous race with your bike, your run would have been much slower. So you maintain bike speed or run speed, increase bike speed. It's all one sport.
Yeah, you're right. Everything you say is right.
I know.
I completely disagree with you. All right. For those of you who want to know more about how my race went, you should call me because you're a family member, and I'll talk to you. No, don't call me because I'm not going to answer. I never answer phone calls. I know we did have a patron. What are those things called? Like get behind the scenes extra.
Oh,
donate to our Patreon. That's what we need to start doing and start selling merch. We're gonna start selling merch. And
people don't listen to me talk about my races for free, so I'm not sure if they're gonna listen to me.
No, they'll buy it. They'll buy it. I know this will happen. You gotta build it, and then they'll come. And I need to start making more of my videos, my race recaps. Speaking, you got the Newtown shirt on, so that's where we should start. You filmed it, and then I still need to put it together.
Yeah, and I don't think I got as far as sending you the video for it.
I think you did, but we'll return to that. All right, that was offline. Your sales guy, videos, and last few moments here. Why do you think Zwift lost their lawsuit?
It just seems like when your product gets taken off the shelf and you have to go tell them to go buy your competitors' tools, that you probably lost.
It didn't go to trial.
I imagine they sunk a lot of money into that partnership with Jet Black or whatever the name of that company was. And a lot into promotions and all that. Like tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, I imagine, went into that effort. And now it's off the shelf. And
that's who I thought Wahoo needed to sue was the Jet company, not Zwift. But I guess that other company went under. So
I don't know.
I don't know. I assume that's why Zwift was able to buy that hardware so reasonably priced.
Well, the Jet Black was selling her for $500 before the Zwift relationship.
No, I mean not the business asset, the company. Like they bought the patent and the technology and stuff.
Oh, I don't realize that. I thought it was a partnership where they just slapped their name on the product and.
It was like a merger kind of thing. Oh. So that's why I thought Wahoo needed to sue them. But I don't know. I don't think.
So you're the lawyer. Tell me why they didn't lose.
Well, I mean, I can't. No one likes this because I'm not privy to the settlement negotiation, so I can't tell you about that. And I wasn't there. And my law professor, I was just thinking this the other day when people were talking about was it OJ when he was acquitted, And many people are like, oh, he's so guilty, like without a doubt. And my professor's like, were you there? Were you judging the witnesses' credibility? Did you hear the tones in their voices? Did you touch the evidence? Like, unless you were there, our system is built to not to like to. That's how we decide guilt, or in that case, liability. So, anyways, I wasn't in the negotiations. I can't tell you if they won or lost, because it's going to come down to dollars and cents. If maybe Zwift sunk a lot of money into their purchase of Jet, but maybe this partnership with Wahoo is going to bring them more money overall as well. Like, I can't tell you one way what that is, because what I've read, opinion pieces on it, is that it's a good deal for Zwift, because now they're supposedly going to be getting more subscribers, because if people buy the Wahoo Kicker, now they get a free month of Zwift, or year of Zwift, or whatever, and that's going to kill Wahoo's system, SYSTM thing, right? Like, they're a Zwift competitor. So Zwift's probably the competitor they were most afraid of disappears now, without them needing to buy that competitor out. Wahoo gets to continue making their hardware, which is really what they're best at anyways. And then Zwift continues with their, I don't think they're the best software, but they're the most popular software, so they get to continue on that front. So those things, to me, it doesn't seem like a clear-cut win or loss. I think it probably works out really well for everyone.
And I also forgot that Wahoo has their RGT system that they just merged with.
And they killed it. They're not going to use it anymore. Yeah, they bought it last summer or something. And
yeah, that didn't last long at all.
Mm-mm.
So maybe that's part of the deal.
Could be.
You kill your software, we'll kill our hardware, and we'll be friends.
We'll all be happy. Yeah. All right. Well, I need to actually get back to it and eat some lunch, probably. So
sounds good. What is our tagline? Do we
I don't we got a tagline ish, but we need to get a better like into it or something, segues, but keep racing
directly forward. Calling it out is probably not the ideal segue, or
I don't know. Like I hate to say it, but what is his name? Coyote Peterson. He has like a good outro, and it's like just in your face. Is be brave, stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure. Just like cut straight to that. So anyways, keep racing toward your goals, and we'll see you at the next starting line.
I like it. Cut it.
Good. All right. Well, I'm trying to end the stream. Now